in the highlight, like we skipped a lot of the things that could have been in the highlight reel. That was like his Mirana has been on point, his Invoker. They just play really high risk, high intensity Dota, and I feel that LGD, while they are quite a huge opponent to come against, DC is the team that can do it with the high skill plays of Resolution, and
DC's turn to pick.
Ultra.
I think everyone looks at Digital Chaos, or at least this is the way I look at it, and I've talked about it a couple of people. I look at DC the same way I looked at Complexity last year. Well, it did awesome at the group stage, but now that you're at the main event, when's the other shoe gonna drop? I feel like this team has a better shot than Complexity last year, just because of individual performance, but they still got to give it to LGD.
The way that LGD shut down RTZ in the mid lane yesterday, I think Resolution is always a big factor for Digital Chaos. If he has a good game, normally Digital Chaos has a good game, and I think LGD is going to have a good time shutting Resolution down this time, and should be having therefore a good time in the series.
Okay, Shane, what's your prediction?
I'm going to go with DC. I'm going to say that Resolution has been on point with his Morphling and his Slark. He's been doing it this series, or this tournament, and I think this is the time we're going to see him shine.
Alright, great. Thank you very much. We'll get more from you at the end of the series, of course. Time now, though, to get into our first draft of our final game of the night. The final series of the night. Is DC or LGD?
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Elder Titan.
DC's turn to ban.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Key Arena, and everyone watching at home. We're about to jump into our final series of day number 2. It's LGD versus Digital Chaos. I'm back at my drafting panel. I got Merlini, Winter, and Waga back. Gentlemen, we actually already have a draft underway, so we'll get right into it. But I do want to pose the early question. Since it is DC with Weeha, and we're going against LGD, a Chinese team, what's the likeliness we could see a Meepo this series?
I think it will be very unlikely, actually, that they pull it out. That's not something you just do lighthearted, you know? Maybe if you're up one game, that's possible.
Okay, we'll see if that's...
Why stop there? Just go for techies.
Yeah, and Pudge.
Well, they didn't win with it in the group stage, so maybe a little bit less willing now that they are one series away from elimination.
Guys, we're not casting wings, okay? We're casting...
We're casting DC, a formidable team. Let's see what they do here. DC actually opened up. They were second pick, but with their first pick, they snagged up that Nyx Assassin, then followed up with a Shadow Demon. LGD, with their first pick priority, grabbed up the Batrider, and now have followed it with an Elder Titan.
I think that's a very strong Nyx, even if you pick it early. Because yes, you counter the Batrider, but even the Elder Titan is so popular, you can do a lot against him with Spike Carapace. You can set up with a Spike Carapace, walk into Spirit, and then stun him afterwards.
Yeah, the opening from DC is like, both the heroes are extremely good at dealing with Batrider. The SD with the defensive disruption, with the Purge, the Carapace. This Batrider has to get like BKB. You might need to just forgo the Force Staff. Like the bread and butter build is Blink into Force Staff. But this game BKB is extremely important for the Bat.
We also mentioned just that they banned out Mirana and then Juggernaut. DC respect maybe on his Juggernaut that much. We saw what he could do previously here on the main stage. He's just a beast, really. They talk about Weeha, outstanding performance, individual skill on DC, but LGD maybe is just a monster.
The Nyx is also countering like the maybe Timber that we've seen, the Invoker. Like it covers a lot of maybe's heroes, and on top of that, one of the best counters versus the Nyx Assassin is the Omni Knight Batrider. We've seen it a couple of times. You don't need BKB if you have Repel, but Shadow Demon already pretty good versus that. So there's not that many great ways for Batrider to deal with the Nyx Assassin aside from just BKB.
Or you get a silencer, and you lasso into a global silence. That works.
I can definitely see Xiaowei pulling that one.
But how is it for DC if they have to play this draft where they're more reactive? They're making sure they cover all bases, they have counters prepared. Is that okay because, you know, Nyx Assassin and Shadow Demon are pretty universal across most drafts and they can kind of play around that a bit? Or do we fear at all that if DC get too reactive to LGD's, you know, game, then they're not playing one themselves?
You have to force LGD to come to you, and generally you do that by having a very heavy farmer. Spectre, Morphling, Anti-Mage, I think are probably the best 3 pairings with the Shadow Demon. Terrorblade sometimes too, but Luna? They have Elder Titan. Yeah, Luna's pretty good too. Like one of these heroes that like, okay, that hero gets a lot of farm, we're gonna have issues in laning. Luna I don't like so much because she dies very easily. What do you guys think?
There's one hero that they used in the group stage that they pulled out, the Digital Chaos Knight. They could play that again. That was some crazy stuff actually, and they played it pretty well.
Didn't that pick it against
that was a Huskar?
I think it was against the...
Yeah, against Huskar, right?
Yeah, that was against the Huskar. It's extremely good just because of his weakness, of course, against physical. But I still think it's pretty good in many games and the way they play it. However, that game they relied on a safe lane Timber a lot, and since he's banned out by them themselves, we'll see what they want to go for here. Morphling and Luna being removed.
Yeah.
They don't have too many options.
They're really hitting DC so they don't get what Ben was talking about in those heavy farmers that force LGD to come to you. So those options are becoming pretty limited here for DC. So I don't know if they want to keep holding that off or snag it up now while there's something still hot.
I think they could go Kunkka. Misery played insane Kunkka before as well. And the SD Kunkka combo, then you just run a core Nyx assassin. That's fully possible to him right now. I definitely think the Nyx should be a core here anyway.
Yeah, they usually put it on move, so I think SD Kunkka really works out well for them. It also doesn't really reveal too much, force LGD into another pick, and maybe give them like a suboptimal core as a result.
Admiral
DC really show their strength.
Nice call, Waga. Kunkka going to be the third pick for DC, so they get the dynamic duo, the SD, the Kunkka. Winter, what is it? Best case scenario, what are you hoping to achieve with this duo in the early game?
SD Kunkka, basically you want to prioritize in giving Kunkka more levels, and SD will be doing more babysitting and stacking if you can. And ideally you want to have like a core that can jungle, so you can at some point give him the lane to get levels, because that's what you want as Kunkka. Like early game you run around, you secure some runes, and then you want to be able to have a lane to get your level 6 and just maybe get towards your arcane boots. So you need a core that has the ability to jungle if possible.
I feel one of their strengths right now, they picked the Lifestealer after the Kunkka. That's really good.
Mama Moo in the house.
Yeah.
Watching her boy.
Yeah, she made a Twitter account only to support and bully her son. It's a very nice account. I like it. Do you
follow Moo's mom?
Yes, I follow her.
Love the support, love the passion. We'll see if her little boy is going to be bringing home a win here or not, but
stop winking at us, Waga. Stop winking.
I'm just following, you know, IX Mike's recommended follows.
He's just supporting this.
You're missing the stash, man.
Okay, I'll work on it.
Invoker comes out. We are going to be in for a treat. The Weehaw Invoker is upon us.
This is truly just Digital Chaos forming a kind of lineup that's comfortable to play. You have great stuns, good setup with the Shadow Demon for a Sunstrike. You have so many different things that you can pull in a team fight. And you have defensive stuff against Batrider or even ET initiations. But the only thing I don't like is they don't have the best way to deal with Lifestealer. It's if they come out with an Impale from Vendetta. Other than that, it's going to be hard to shut them down, I think.
I mean, you don't think they have like Purge plus the Ghost, the Ghost Shape will be enough against Lifestealer? I think to kite him around? I
think he's got to jump in on the SD early. Maybe if SD stays in good positioning, yeah, then they can kite him.
What's maybe going to play? A lot of these games have revolved around maybe. There's not that many good heroes here that are.
I want to say Tinker, but they have like Nyx and Kunkka. Both the heroes are really good against that.
Oh, what else is there? Like Storm's also not good versus Nyx. What do you want?
All the heroes he plays, like you said, are greatly countered by Nyx.
And they also picked Invoker, which maybe also excels at, so you can't go for that either. They're limiting the options a lot.
I mean, I guess TA doesn't really get countered by Nyx so much.
TA by Shadow Demon and Kunkka though, it's not easy. And Meatball from Invoker, it's not an easy thing to do. Also, TA kind of needs stunts.
But you're gonna have a good laning phase against Invoker, right?
Depends actually. I don't think you have such an easy time against these supports, because these are high roaming supports, and that makes a big difference to a mid lane.
So you would need the Elder Titan to help you against Invoker specifically, if the Kunkka's roaming around.
You would need you wouldn't need a hero like an Ogre who just sits there, and Elder Titan, I don't think he does that good when he just sits in the same place. He should move around and catch people out instead.
We'll see if LGD will heed your advice. Wow. Oh, that's a TA. All right, winner. Good for you. We'll see if they decide to get someone to go with it to kind of.
LGD, the core, not
well, you just seem to be in tune though. You know exactly what they need, and it seems like they know what they need to kind of be able to succeed.
Let's be honest, not much good options there. All the options that we talked about are greatly countered by Nyx, and you want a core that can build BKB, so at some point you're gonna have that BKB, spell immunity, you can run at them. So TA, clear the ancient stack, kill Roshan, you're dire.
I really feel they got forced into this though, pretty heavily by DC. So this is not going to feel maybe as natural, because TA is one of those situational picks, right? You can't just pick it every game. And this game, it might work, might not.
Okay, the TA picker says it might not work, so...
Might not work. But maybe it's, he's maybe seen his TA a lot.
So how would you optimize this game? Would you just like go Blink? There's so like just go BKB as your third item?
If you get a lot of farm in the beginning, then you can go Dessa first, but I think you will probably get forced to go Blink first. But Blink first, and then you have Lifestealer infesting you, you could go for some ganks. Those are
10 seconds
really time
remaining.
pressure though.
Well, with Digital Chaos last ban of Disruptor, looks like...
5
Was that
seconds
Slot?
remaining.
Slark?
Is
Yeah.
that telling?
If
Yeah.
they're up against Bad Rider and you ban Disruptor.
It's also good versus TA.
Slark's gone.
Okay, well,
LGD's
there's...
turn to pick.
what else is there?
I mean, LGD gets to pick one last support first here.
Peel is not a bad option for Digital Chaos as their last, I think. Peel just destroys.
Yeah, Lifestealer,
a lot of
Lifestealer
his
and TA doesn't do very well against that hero.
Yeah,
10
you want to
seconds
match up
remaining.
good against their cores with your last pick here if you're DC, I think. Because you already
5
have stuff
seconds
against the
remaining.
Elder Titan, and yeah, Batrider is a core, but he's initiation.
I also think PA could be pretty decent
Reserve
too.
time.
For DC?
Yeah, we're up against a lot of physical damage, not too much magic. They already have Bat Rider counters, but that's a little maybe more faster paced. We haven't seen really that many teams pick PA aside from Alliance and VP.
Yeah.
We could see it working though, I think.
For LGD, they need their last support though. Not many good options.
The ogre's still there that Waga was mentioning.
They'll probably go for a range like Lion
10
because they have
seconds remaining.
Elder Titan roaming around.
Yeah,
That's true.
Witch Doctor or Lion, something like that. I don't think they pick Ogre after Elder Titan. Okay, Rubik.
DC's
It will be the
turn
choice.
to
Lots
pick.
of great options out there for him to take. I mean, even the bow, for example, Disruption's good, and anything from Nyx can be pretty damn swell.
I think generally you want like a support hero that doesn't do any damage with their disables. So there's really only two, like Lion, Rubik, I guess a little bit of Shadow Shaman, but he's
10
not that popular.
seconds
But that
remaining.
seems to be the trend versus the Nyx.
Back though,
Naga
we've been rattling our brain. DC, they fall on a Naga Siren for their last pick.
Has he played that hero?
They're still going for
Yeah.
illusions though. That's same as PL in a way, but just a little bit more farm based. Well,
I gotta go with
You
DC
have to
here.
snare for the Lifestealer, so.
Yeah, it's real nasty.
So what do you guys think? Do you favor DC?
Definitely DC. With I think that's a better draft. I like TA was like the best pick that they had, but still like subpar. So many instances of damage. You get kited very heavily. They are on Dire. They have that going for them, but overall favor DC.
I would favor LGD. I think with the TA, they might be able to play a fast-paced game against Naga Siren, get Roshan and stomp them in the mid game.
One DC, one LGD. Waga?
it's like a toss-up actually for me. I think DC.
TA.
I think. I just think TA might be shut down
10
in this game.
seconds remaining.
All right. We'll see if that's going to be the case or not. We have our final
5
casters for our
seconds
final
remaining.
series today. We'll throw it over to them now. It's LD and Mott. Take it away, guys.
Thank you very much, Dakota. That's right. We are live here on the floor of Key Arena getting ready for our final elimination match. LGD, they've got a bit of a cheering section here, Mott,
Prepare for
directly
battle.
behind the Chinese casters. Mama Moo behind you. But of course, you were invited to TI to be an objective caster. And with that, I'm sure you're just rooting for good Dodo, right?
Yeah, I've got integrity, of course. I have, of course, objectivity the entire way through, and, well, we're going to see how it goes.
Got to be quick on the draw.
Yeah, I
Mott.
suppose
Quick on the
so.
draw with the Suns fan side.
There were so many
though.
Suns fan signs back here, and
He's
big
a
cheering
Suns
section.
fan in spirit, but we are underway, guys. Best of 3 showdown here. DC versus LGD. DC starting off very unconventionally. Smoke to the top lane, all 5. Looking for the jungle invasion.
Yeah, they're going to head up there, maybe put some wards down, see what they can get done here, but MMY as well as aggressive in position. We'll see if they can scout them out, and Saksa's going to be
30
moving forward. He has
seconds
the
to
disruption as well. Resolution can scope and snare him. Probably doesn't want to. Wants to go for Riptide instead, but they will break the smoke, and the tree line is going to be aggressive. Misery, has he found him yet? Eating his way through. Breaking the tree, aggressive will get out in time.
Nicely done there. Had the tango out and hadn't skilled anything, so could have just gone into the rage. AB resolution skills net, but that's ideally not what you want to do when you're a farming Naga. So it looks like DC will go for the aggro tried Naga. We generally see this with the Keeper of the Light. That's the hero that's excelled with it. They have a good dual roaming combo in the Shadow Demon Kunkka, but if you just lock them into a tri-lane, that means that the mid lane really doesn't have to worry. And, you know, something that was brought up briefly is, yeah, TA has to be worried about rotations, but as long as you're seeing a tri-lane top, maybe you can just comfortably farm. So if this is a tri-lane and they don't give up kills in this top lane, I think LGD will be pretty happy with the setup.
I mean, maybe is someone that can do so much with farm as well. This is one of the best players in China and probably in the world as well. And he's got so many favorite heroes, Templar Assassin. We saw his performance yesterday as well. Pretty immaculate, and we'll see how things progress here today. DC again, that tri-lane top with resolution going up against Shadow for now. Shadow Poison skill up first for Saksa, but again, the rotation mid, Anna won't find anybody there. Instead, it's just going to be 2 Shadow Poison stacks in that top lane to begin this laning phase, LD.
There's a lot of kill potential here. I would say if they catch Xiao 8 out of position, Disruption Torrent, and have the Naga net potentially as well, but you do need levels on this combo. Ideally, you want to get to level 3 where the level 2 Torrent comes into play. The Naga has a point in the net, and the level 2 Riptide, and your Shadow Demon, who started with Poison, has Disruption as well as Soul Catcher. And running an aggro tri-lane, you're not likely to get those levels early. So far, I like LGD's lane setup a lot better. Aggressive, bottom as the Lifestealer should have a very easy time. Even 1v1 should do decently. With Banana's help, should definitely have a good time. And then mid lane, already they've given maybe a good start. He's taking advantage of it, 6-2. And unless they rotate, or unless they find that kill top, LGD in good shape so far.
And you heard what the panelists had to say. Obviously, DC, they need to obviously be put down a little bit in the early stages of this game. LGD with maybe a little bit of a worse trap, at least considered by the panelists. And Moo, of course, getting some solo experience. How do you feel about the Nyx Assassin played in the offlane for Moo? This is obviously one of his staple heroes. What do you think about the choice for DC in this particular lineup?
I'm sure if they were expecting this lane setup from LGD, because generally Nyx is pretty difficult to zone offlaner because he has very high base regen, far more than most heroes normally do. And he's fairly difficult to gank because of the characters on the stun, but they find that opening top and they go looking for Xiao 8, Disruption, Torrent, and a Sunstrike. Net DC the first blood. While that's happening though, Banana is moving on mid. He only has Echo Stomp skill.
He has so low as well.
It's a level 1 Elder Titan. You rarely see them gank this stage. He's gonna try for it.
Yeah, he has no Astral Spirit, as you had mentioned. Weeha is regenning up after eating a Tango and going for Quas. He was very low in HP, but for now he's looking a little bit more healthy. Banana will still sit behind this tower, trying to leech up level 2 maybe, but he has that win. Lacey could run in, but instead decides against it. And, well, that's gonna be it. He's gonna head on out of there.
Still, overall, even with the kill, it's a Bat Rider. It's a hero that can catch up relatively easily. Already Xiao 8's made the correct movement, goes back to the jungle. They're going to leave the lane for the Rubik. Seeing this, DC should just be leaving the Naga here, and they should be rotating their support duo. Leaving 3 heroes top to kill a Rubik while Bat Rider's stacking, while TA is free farming, unpressured, and Lifestealer doing very well. Really the best trade, and Invoker currently losing his lane a little bit, not by a significant margin, but if you're going to run this tri-lane, you have to keep on finding kills, and ideally on cores. You can see MMY's got a TP.
Yeah, he's going to have to use it now immediately. He's being snared there. No, it's the Disruption instead. Followed by the Torrent. Sunstrike on top. It's the same combo that netted them first blood, and it will net them the second kill in this game as well.
Do keep on getting the kills here.
And they have to, I feel like, in this lane.
Yeah. You have to get kills. They're level 3 on all 3 heroes, so if they can keep on constantly getting them, it's not bad, but remember, there's a free farm Lifestealer, and there are tools to deal with in this game for sure. Demonic Purge, the net, and when his rage is down, they can obviously handle him very easily, but you have to worry about Bat Rider can always catch up in the jungle, and the Lifestealer bombs, if he's very farmed in the mid game, can be difficult to deal with. Also notice LGD already stacking Ancients, so they are going to be gearing up for heavy farm here, and even if they fall behind in the lanes a little bit, they have a lineup that can quickly clear those stacks and catch up.
And there's no rotations coming out from the side of the DC support. So again, like you talked about, stuck in this top lane, they're going to be a little bit maybe level star, but with these kills, that will help them out. Again, they need more of them as we progress through the game. Maybe we'll bottle up a double damage rune. That is very scary to give to a Templar Assassin. Had it been a little bit later in the game, about doing something a little bit crazier like Roshan, but it's still only 4.5 minutes in. Maybe we'll continue to just farm up for now.
Oh, they've already made a rotation though. MMY, he says screw that top lane. I'm going bottom. Can I think kill the Nyx with the phase boots? Why though? No boots of his own, so.
Do you just rotate it out of top now if you're DC? Or do you stay up here and look for another kill, this time on Banana?
Well, DC, they don't know the Rubik's gone right now. They're going to see the Elder Titan here. They are starting to move though, and I think moving is the correct play if you don't see easy kills in that lane.
Nice little play from Sox there.
Super patient from MMY.
Is under attack.
Moo is not that close to level 6 here. Aggressive now, even grabbing the Blightstone. They have kill potential, Mott, and Lift is not going to get Carapace, but can he get in range? He does manage to find him.
Carapace now up and vest out, ready to go. The damage blocked by the Spike Carapace. Will Moo be able to make it out? And Pale ready to go as well. He's going to salve up, but he's going to escape.
Oh,
LGD,
great juke there by Moo.
They can't get it done.
Yeah, unfortunately, Aggressive, he kind of gave away the gank by running him like that, and no boots on MMY, so it takes a little bit too long to get in range. I think if they had chained their spells slightly better, anymore, they may have been able to kill him.
Weeha getting very low. Some good side trap usage there to keep him alive, and again, it's that double damage rune. It's TP's home, he'll heal up, a top lane again, and they're trying to find someone here, but LGD, it looks like they've already TP'd out both
They really needed that gank bottom to work. You're forfeiting the tower top, not even getting experience out of the lane for a decent amount of it. With the Rubik, Elder Titan constantly roaming, somewhat running for their life. If they get the kill in the Nyx, I think it's an okay trade for LGD, but not even getting that kill, not ideal. Well, we see a TP bottom, reinforcements are on their way, they've caught out Moo. The Carapace is aggressive, continuing to hit him through it. Now the Stomp comes out, good chain stun, but they can't quite kill him. Right?
Not enough damage, but aggressive still low. The tower's not hitting him. They did take aggro. MMY will save his carry as aggressive's able to walk away, but Moo survives too.
Moo is making plays this game. Good rotation. We saw this from Misery in Game 2 versus Wings yesterday, that he loves to carry an early TP on Kunkka. This one, not nearly as early as that game, but definitely salvages that. And LGD, tons of wasted time on the ganks now. Still though, despite that, their cores are farming completely freely. 44 CS on Lifestealer, 35 on TA, hasn't started farming the Ancient stacks yet. DC only up by about 800 gold, 500 experience. And remember, they've already taken a tower, so it looks really good for DC in terms of like the momentum and pace of this game, but truth be told, still very even.
Yeah, and it could really go either way as we head to the mid-game. Weehaw building Midas, obviously, and then obviously the TA getting her first real item. No treads just yet for Maybe, and he has a Blightstone, could go for the early Desolator. We've seen Blink Daggers, Yasha occasionally, as well as Drums, but those are falling out of fashion now as we see those two particular items coming out. But see, again, DC continue just to stay top. Moo, he has rotated up and he's about to reach level 6. Still not there yet, though. He doesn't have his Vendetta yet. He's and stalking, but nobody situated top lane for LGD as they're rotating mid and looking for a potential gank on Weehaw.
And the one thing that I am concerned about, looking at LGD in particular, is their supports are very underleveled. Both only level 3. Actually, MMY just now hitting 4. But these are extremely level-dependent supports. They don't need that much farm necessarily. You'd love to have a Blinko Rubik, Elder Titan scales well with farm, but really you need levels. And you also need money to buy Sentry Wards because you're up against the Nyx. Speaking of which, Hunting Xiaowei, Disruption to start, Soul Catcher, Sunstrike, and a big stun to follow. Moo strikes gold on his first gank, slowing down the Batrider. Looks like Xiaowei did manage to spend his gold before going down, working towards the drums, it appears. GD for a rotation of their own, smoked up. They would love to kill Weehaw before he gets his Midas.
So Tornado, he does have Ice Wall if he needs it, but Rage is up for aggressive. He's going to walk in and pop it promptly. LGD's coming through, Weehaw in a lot of trouble, and his best out will grab the kill for them.
They really needed that. LGD, they've struggled to find the ganks, but perfect time to kill an Invoker before the Midas is out. Obviously, you can't spend your gold because you're saving for a fairly costly recipe, so Xiaowei doesn't really lose any unreliable gold. The Invoker of Weehaw does. For LGD, definitely need to be buying Sentry Wards against the Nyx.
Yeah.
Or be very cognizant of his positioning.
That's the thing. You talked about, obviously, LGD supports don't really need when they could use farm, they could use, obviously, experience. They need both of those things, but against the Nyx Assassin, Sentries are going to be pivotal. They're going to be prime, and they have to get more of them down. Moo right now, there's no real Sentries on the map that I can see for LGD, and he already has gotten one successful Vendetta gank off, so his positioning is going to be right now. It doesn't really matter because they just don't have the detection, but
he has
like LGD are more focused on farming here.
He has gone for a 2-on-2 build. Radiant do scan the Ancients, by the way, so DC, they know that this, at least stacking was happening, most likely TA farming them. So Moo's going to make a move into the enemy jungle, but it's only a level 2 Impale. They'll need the Sunstrike to hit. Carapace can set this up, but Xiaowei's just finished the stack. Almost, he wants that one last scream. Moo. Oh, he wins the stun!
He had it. That would have been a sure kill, but he misses the Impale.
Oh, that really hurts, because TA all the while just free-farming Ancients. Yeah. Aggressive there as well. Naga is CSing during this time, Invoker getting closer to the Midas, but that kill would have given Weehaw's Midas, so delayed by probably a minute here.
Maybe he gains about 1,000 gold net worth in that time from that Ancient stack. 1,500 right now. If he wants to Blink Dagger, he's very close. And that's going to start, I think, the cogs turning for LGD to get them to the ganks. Obviously, the Blink Dagger on Xiaowei would be very nice, but he's got a rough early game, so it looks like he's transitioning into the drum build.
I think, you know, probably the two most successful Batrider players at this event overall, and coming into it were Moon in general, and they love to go for the drums, and it looks like Xiaowei may have adopted that build. We'll have to see. You can also still get a Blink from here. It's such a good vehicle for Lifestealer, though, that I think I slightly still favor the Blink this game, but both definitely viable. As we see Moo again lurking, but there is a dire sentry here in the mid lane. They know he's around. They might be able to punish.
Yeah, it looks like they were trying to set
and
up.
The catapult hit him, so now he knows, and he'll back away.
And LGD were looking for their smoke all the while. They head into their own jungle.
They have dust on MMY mod. They do pop it. It doesn't clip Moo, though.
He's going to be fine.
Juke away. He's wasting a lot of time. That's 2-3 LGD heroes trying to find the Nyx, and now DC, they go for a full gank of their own. The Nyx about to be revealed. He's going to show himself mid lane.
Big smoke. Soxa's going to lead the way. Going to wrap all the way around. Banana is not a huge kill, but if they can get more, and including the tower, would be fantastic. But for now, DC, and they're going to take their time. Soxa, smoke's broken. There's going to be the poison coming through. And Banana right now just jogging his way through Torrent. Demonic Purge has fused. Here comes the stomp, the lift as well. Soxa in trouble. He's going to disrupt himself. There's no ship coming through. It's going to hit the Banana, but that's the only target right now. And Soxa might get left all by his bones. But DC, they head out together as a team. The Exploder's going to be off the mark as well, but Point just getting the one kill and being okay with it as well, blowing up the smoke and the attempt of a trade from DC as well.
CDFI, only one thing, which is farming time for resolution, but there's a blink in from Maybe, goes hard on Mo, can't quite find the kill. Rubik, meanwhile, does steal the level 3 Impale. This gives LGD much more stun lock potential. Very important to prevent Son of the Siren from coming out to burst targets down. Naga is going for a very fast Radiance at this rate. Considering it was an aggressive tri-lane, Resolution level 9, 3600 CS, he's been left unchecked. And again, this goes back to the Nyx Assassin movements where even when Moo doesn't get a kill, simply by being in Vendetta off the map, he is buying a lot of space for Resolution. Could be a problem. Radiance really makes life hard for TA. He's going to find Xiao Wei.
That Sunstrike as well, boom, not going to do enough damage. Gets split by the creep. The Satyr Mind Stealer, I believe, is what happened, but down bottom now. Rotation in. Torrent Misery will try to save himself the Ghost Ship to give him the run, but it's not going to be enough. As aggressive as Maybe. They combine it to find a quick kill, and they don't lose that Bat Rider trying to farm the jungle.
Mama Moo may have to give that creep talking to, Mott.
That was one of the most unfortunate creep positionings I've seen, and it's really lucky for LGD in that position to just be able to make sure they get out of that engagement without losing anything. Moo could use a blink dagger of his own. He's working on it. 600 gold, that's what we'll likely see from him. Weeha's Midas is finished into the drum now, and there's the armlet coming out for aggressive on the Lifestealer, TPing home, well, at least to the tier 1 tower mid, and he'll take farm there as well.
So DC, for them, they're mainly waiting for Radiance, BOTs. The Invoker wants a lot of time. Weeha is going to stop off our drums, but DC want to play the stalling game here. The Nyx is more just a distraction. It's LGD who want to push the tempo. They want to take towers. They want to force fights, limit DC's map control before the Radiance comes. They're not really the best with dealing with those illusions, truth be told. So they are looking for that gank in the mid lane. Xiao Wei trying to start this off.
Dong doesn't get off in time. Resolution close, and he's going to fall because he can't get it off. But great torrent. Ghost Ship coming in as well. He impaled the fall. Sunstrike. Xiao Wei will fall.
But he stole the bone. MMY looking to turn it. He keeps Maybe alive. Then the Earth Splitter on top. And Misery disrupted. They're going to try to follow this up aggressively. Moving on to him. They slay him.
2 down now. DC trying to escape. Might be a third. Moves by Carapace. There's Demonic Purge coming out. They get the impale. Aggressive though. Too tanky with that armlet on, and they will only get the 1 kill on Xiao Wei with that great torrent and that great impale into Ghost Ship.
Well, already MMY showcasing his Rubik prowess. We haven't seen him play the hero much recently.
Oh,
Sunstrike!
Oh, man.
That was close.
So close.
It just feels like that's the kind of game it's been for DC. Close misses on the Nyx Assassin ganks earlier, just barely dying before you get your Midas. Now a barely whip, not even whip, but just a Sunstrike that didn't do quite enough damage to net a kill mid. A lot of little things for DC not quite going their way. It's still only a slight advantage for LGD as far as gold goes. Concern for DC is going to be, once TA has Desolator, they're definitely going to go Roshan. Maybe DC can contest with Psalm, but to do that, they will need the Radiance. And Resolution, about 800 gold away from this. They've even forced Weeha to pick up the drum. Sometimes if he's having a better game, he will rush BOTs, but feeling under pressure, worried about getting focused down, and just feels like he needs to offer a little more utility, but this will delay his farm curve and his late game impact by quite a bit.
Surprisingly, maybe hasn't found a kill of his own. He's been involved in 4 kills, 4 assists going his way, but it's equal on the other side with the exception of the death as well for Invoker. So that stacked him up on the screen. But for now, like you talked about, that Desolator very close to completion, and for TA, that's go time. 1,000 gold away, and to get that gold, they're going to take down the tier 1 tower. Below half HP, DC will do their best to defend it. And again, no, of course, Radiance, and I don't know if they want to commit Song to this. It looks like they might have to let this go, LD.
Don't really see them fighting.
Oh, nicely done. Great torn to deny from Weeha.
Play there from DC. They hold on to the Psalm. They just don't want to fight before Radiance. Once they have Radiance, high chance that DC considers an engagement, but for now, forced to give up a tower. It's still lost map control, even though they do get the deny. As our Lifestealer roams on towards bottom. LGD wanting to push the tempo, looking to seize map control. If this tower is down, Roshan will be their next objective, and to aid in that effort, they have a DD now bottled up for the TA. Strosh will drop very quickly. Just need to complete the Deso. Only about 600 gold away.
Yeah, he's getting there. And losing this tower would be critical for both teams. LGD gaining this tower, gain the map advantage as you talked about. That is a very important tower. DC need that to TP into. The tier 2 tower made a little further away. For now, they'll keep it alive. They do push them back. There's some wards placed down by LGD. Smoke should not have been seen, and Resolution is
going
hunting
with them. Bottom, though. He's looking for Banana under cover of Vendetta. Might be able to find him. Banana reveals himself. He does have a tier 1 here. The stun's going to connect. Sunstrike coming through. A direct hit, but he doesn't finish him. And now the turn. Carapace isn't going to be enough to get the kill on Banana. Going for the Earth Splitter. The stomp as well. Does fall, and they will back away, at least for now.
Oh, Resolution has to song as Baby jumps in with the Blink Dagger.
Gonna look for more here. That Riker does not have a TP.
It's actually trouble. The Ghost Ship coming through as well. Maybe about to fall in well. Resolution gets the kill with the Riptide coming through. That song, it looked like they were going to back LD, but they stayed, and they almost get a third. It's MMY.
That's on strike. They're gonna get it!
Oh, man.
Beautiful shot there by Weeha. It was a straight path back from the Rubik. Maybe not too used to playing against the Quas Exhort Invoker, but Weeha on point. And DC, some gasoline on their fire. They're going to ramp things up now. Weeha, though, does get lassoed into a stomp. There's no Earth Splitter follow-up. He might be able to make it out of this. They're trying to burn him down, but the Cold Snap bringing Xiaowei low. He can turn with the Sunstrike. It's going to connect to Banana. He'll kill him off, possibly.
One more. That's it. He's got it. Great turn. No more Sunstrike for Xiaowei to bring him down. Obviously, the bigger target there.
Almost got 2. And now the BOTs. Suddenly, DC kicking into high gear, and that small series of events is a 3,000 gold swing mod. More importantly, delays the Desolator, maybe, still has not taken Roshan. By 18 minutes, generally, you will see Blink Deso, you will see Roshan brought down, but he's falling a bit behind in farm. He spent a lot of time trying to come to fights. If that last fight goes well, they easily grab it. Eventually, LGD are likely to take it. It's more, how much are DC getting off the map, and how much are they slowing the game down before that timing hits?
Exactly. Resolution's able to farm up so much in the meantime, and he was even involved in those kills, and he just picked up his ratings. He's already up to 1,700 gold as the Sunstrike will come through into Roshan just to check and make sure there's no one in that pit right now.
They do it fast, but DC are really good at fighting around the pit. They have Carapace to deal with the Bat Rider, the boat, and the Song setup. That's a really scary combo around the pit, and obviously Invoker offers tons of AoE damage, so LGD, they don't really want to 5v5 at the pit. They more want to either pick someone off or just sneak a Roshan. And but DC looking to keep tabs here. Psalm is now available again with BOTs on Resolution. They can project force very deep on the map, and it's not difficult to get to the pit quickly. But I still think with the Deso, you will see LGD just walk right in the pit, and that's the call for maybe. So let's get this damn Roshan, and then we have some work to do.
I'd be surprised if DC, they might go for the contention, and they do have the Sunstrike. They've got the vision.
They're moving
They get there in time. They do enough damage. Can they song at the proper moment?
They do. They had a sentry down in the river. I think they may have seen Mu.
Yeah, they saw Mu walk through as the ancient Black Dragon was walking through, and they will definitely see him now.
Oh, if they can pick him early, it would be great. But Xiaowei isn't the best hero to initiate because of the Carapace.
Roche is still low. The Torn will come through. They have Ghost Ship.
Song could set this up, but you can see LGD are not grouping up for a boat-Song combo.
They TP'd out. Demonic Purge will come through. They might be able to bring down this ancient Black Dragon. Taking a lot of damage. Torrent will miss.
Come out and play aggressive, say DC, but he doesn't want to.
He's going to walk back in. That's dangerous, but he's got his team behind him, and now the lasso will come through. They're going to get Zaxa, and boom, one hit. Below half health, Disruption will come out. He will eventually fall. The Sunstrike onto aggressive. The Ghost Ship coming through. He's able to raid. He's going to open with his ball in the mid-3, but now there's more. The Earth Splitter coming in. Another Desolator. They song and reset the fight, though, LG.
They don't have the boat anymore. I think they actually have to back TA and Nyx are both really scary in fights where the big cooldowns aren't available. They stick around, but TA could chunk the Misery. He's hoping for the combo there. Lifestealer with a quick heal. Still moves, stalking though. Rage is available. He dodges it and then he moves back on the move. Oh, Moo, he's in trouble. The cow might go down. They are going to get the Nyx assassin, and now MMY brought low, not finished off. Will back away under cover of his own Astral Spirit. I think they just have to retreat on.
Open wounds. Weeha's going to get caught. That's a huge kill. LGD turning it around. They'll pick up 2 and they might find 3 as Saksa trying to avoid this gank, but this will be the go time. LD head into that Roche pit. And that song was already used to disengage in that last fight. And we'll have to let this go, I believe.
Yeah, so the worst possible situation for DC, where could have just given up the Roche, spent that time farming the enemy jungle with the Naga, split pushing, maybe you take the tier 2 top with the Invoker, double Forge Spirit, and just his general ability to apply pressure to towers, but instead they come to Roshan, they give up kills, they slow down their own farm, and they don't stop the Roche. So LGD will be very happy with that overall exchange, and I think this will be the stage of the game where you see DC execute primary strength of their game plan, which is spread the map with the Naga illusions, find Nyx ganks behind it, you move Weeha around wherever lanes are empty or whatever you see heroes, send him to the other side of the map.
Right.
They basically just want to play keep away here, wait out the Aegis, force LGD to really commit on objectives. As for LGD, they will be looking to punish this with the Batrider lasso, or just to bulldoze towers. There's a DD top. Maybe he's about to grab it on the TA. And he will hit towers very hard with it.
And he's got 2,000 gold as well for his next item, which we'll wait and see what he grabs. But you mentioned there are towers that they want to take down. There's still the tier 2 mid. Obviously, the tier 1 top is pretty important as well. But how much do you think LGD are saying, okay, we have to be able to push these towers down because, of course, that resolution radiance and that Naga Siren? How important do you think this is for LGD right now?
I mean, they have a really good late game lineup in their own right. Lifestealer is just always going to be a problem unless he gets purged and completely focused. There's still the net to deal with him, but I feel like with the Batrider vehicle, you're not likely to have that, but hold that thought, because top lane, they're moving in. Nice. Oh, Banana kind of did a pump fake there. They lead with the Elder Titan, who doesn't have the most reliable setup, in the song will allow DC to escape, and now they look to turn this. X marks the spot into the torrent, the Sunstrike as well. Banana, he's finished off. A little extra potassium for DC, and that may deter LGD entirely. Looks like it could have been a wasted song. I'm not really sure why they're leading the ganks with the Elder Titan. I would like to see the Batrider and Fest Bomb in front.
MMY and the Rubik has a blink dagger. You can just lead with him. He blinks in and telekinesis, and that's the beginning of the fight. That probably goes in LGD's favor. But like you said, for some reason, they're having Banana on the Elder Titan go first. And like you said, pump fake backup, couldn't decide where to go. He's like, they see me now. Should I back up? Instead, that gank that should have been crucially theirs. It's more time for DC, and I cannot stress it enough. This Naga Siren getting very farmed. Resolution now with the Yasha picked up, and a lot more gold on top of that. Not to mention Moo's new blink dagger, and Weeha continues to work towards his Aghanim Scepter.
Man, they panicked so much in that top engagement, they just dropped 2 sentries right away. So it really shows you the psychological pressure that a Nyx assassin puts into the game, even when he's not finding kills. It's like, oh crap, Nyx might be here. Don't get ambushed, don't get caught. And even when it doesn't lead to kills, still has its effect. So for LGD moving forward, I think BKBs will be very important. We may see maybe opt to skip it as long as he has Aegis, but you really want your Batrider to be able to go for a clean initiation, and that means you don't want to get Song, you don't want to get Carapace. Even potentially the X can cause problems for Batrider when he's trying to drag someone back.
Right.
They don't come prepared here bottom with sentries at the tower. They're only off in the tree line. Ooh. This is very risky, but it's actually working out.
I think MMY is almost baiting this. Look at where he is in the tree line, though, with the blink dagger ready. He'll immediately blink telekinesis in on aggressive, or excuse me, on move. They find something.
They're going to BOT in the TA now. Early BOTs for maybe wants to deal with the Naga split push as best as possible and take objectives. And it seems DC are contemplating defending this tower, but they opt not to in the end, not having their full 5-man squad here.
All right, 25 minutes into the game now, and this is going to wear off soon here for maybe. That's more than likely the go time for DC. They know when that Aegis is going to be worn off, so they also have some good split push mid. Look at where this is. The creep wave is underneath the tier 3 tower. in the middle lane, and so LGD will have to take care of that. They've already TP'd back one. It's the Bat Rider for now.
Yeah, maybe it was mid. He denied the tower, and then he instantly BOT'd bottom. So they were aware the lane was pushing, but it shows you the Naga impact. Even if you're denying towers, you're still losing map control here. And DC could do that kind of split push very safely. They don't really have to commit heroes. Change.
Oh man, maybe. Just got a double damage rune stolen from him. And next assassin comes in, and that would have been again another DD for maybe that could have helped them find some more kills, but no such luck.
You'll see round 2 of aggression from LGD, probably the next Aegis. That's when Xiao 8 should have his BKB, already an Ogre Club and 900 gold, and that's when PTA either has one more big damage item or BKB of her own. So for now, LGD about to lose their Aegis. They may try for the easy tier 1. I'm not sure DC really want to risk a tower defense there, but definitely tier 2, tier 3 territory.
I mean, the Aegis is gone now.
That's where you look to fight, and they just got the Invoker Ags. This is a huge item pickup. LGD not trying for the flank this time. They didn't drop a lane ward either.
I think if you're LGD, if you decide to push this, you be very careful with how you approach it, but
no gem yet.
Down.
It's getting to that point in the game where you'd expect a gem, but this goes back to the way the game started. A very, very poor Elder Titan. Only 2,000 net worth. Rubik, Arcane Boots, and Blink from MY. Maybe he buys a gem later on, but
they already bought one for Resolution. He's currently got a gem on him. Of course, that counter warding and getting the map control and then choking LGD inside their base is critical. They've already de-warded that one Observer ward, and they've scoped it behind Resolution with the Core leading the way again.
The other hero that could buy it, and you often will see offlaners and Bat Rider players buy their own gem, but if you do that, you have a very late BKB, and that just puts so much pressure to play perfect Dota. We will see a dire scan only. It's on an illusion here.
That's the tricky thing.
Yeah, but I mean, something is there, Mod.
Yeah, that exactly, and that's the important point. LGD know that there's probably going to be a smoke or a jungle invasion, so they back up and they don't play aggressively or try to farm their jungle. So in turn, it actually helps LGD keep alive, and DC have to back up and just farm their side of the map. They can take that tier 2 tower, and they will do so. And that BKB that you were talking about, so critical of an item, maybe continues to keep up with the Naga Siren as best he can. He is now up to 14k in net worth. BKB, bots, Blink Dagger, Desolator. He's not lacking for damage right now.
Yeah, on the other side you have Aggressive. He has spent a lot of time infested inside Ancients this game. You will see this sometimes, like we used to see that Radiant cheese build, that doesn't really happen anymore. But you will see this just if teams are looking to group up and push a lot. It's a safer way to farm, but he's fallen a bit behind in CS here. Like, only even with an Invoker who's constantly been running for his life. Weeha has died twice this game. No deaths on the Lifestealer. Could be farther ahead. Aggressive has been trying to find ganks, trying to apply pressure. It hasn't really been all that successful. And he didn't go for a Midas like the Invoker. So you see him now 2k gold down. A hero that has some problematic matchups this game. We talked a bit about Disruption. You could use that on an ally who's been caught by him. There's the Purge. There's also the Naga Song. You can also just or net rather, you could also Song and just focus the Lifestealer if the other heroes haven't popped their BKBs, so it's not like a game where Lifestealer can just get it done on equal farm. Ideally, he would like to be ahead.
And the net hasn't even been scaled up for DC. Now they have 4 points of it. Side Trap will try to connect to Xiao 8. It looks like you will be able to get out in time. But more aggression this time from DC, and there is that gem you were talking about picked up for the Elder Titan, and they might be making it.
Banana is on food stamps right now.
Yeah.
Cobbles together 900 gold, and then he buys the gem. So he's already got Tranquils, Windlace, and a Magic Stick effectively. LGD just waiting for the Xiao 8 BKB, just waiting for the next throw.
I gotta say, with the Naga Siren in this game, I think both teams are doing pretty well trying to get their supports and farm.
But it's not a good matchup for TA later on. I mean, Waga touched on it a little bit. Sideblade is just useless against illusion-based carries, and Naga late game is tough for him to deal with. I worry a bit for LGD. The lack of kills, like you look at that gold graph, there's only just a couple of red specks down there. At this point, you'd love to see that peppered or even painted in red and just constant kills all over the map.
It's been a very quiet mid-stage of the game, which is really bad for LGD, yeah. I mean,
but DC have just done a very good job of playing tactically, not giving up kills. They're moving as a team while still farming multiple camps at the same time, but they're all in like the same region of the map. So should a fight break out, Naga might be able to get there. They also have the double BOTs, the Nyx has a blink, so they can reinforce each other very quickly. I like the balance they've struck here between still farming while not being overly greedy or risky with their movement.
With this map control, I feel like DC, if they take the Tier 2 tower down, then they have the ability to take Roche, not even just contend it, but take it all together on their side, especially with all of these new items coming out. And again, it's just Weehaw continuing to farm up. And
they're pretty slow at taking Roche. Invoker's okay, but Naga Siren is very poor at killing Roshan, so I think more likely they'll just be looking to stop LGD from doing it. I also don't think DC need the Aegis all that badly, but there is that potential. If you win a fight, they could walk into the pit.
Well, definitely at least keep vision around it, which is something you can't say for LGD. Even with that gem pickup, they're still locked inside of their base right now. The only one out who's actually spotted by an observer ward is Navy. And if they had any way to catch him, they probably would go for it. In fact, Moo's already heading up there, Blink Dagger in hand, 1600 gold, looking to try to find this juicy target. Maybe still getting stalked, but Moo not looking to go yet. And maybe
he has to be totally chain stunned here. He has a BKB, otherwise he'll just BKB, TP out, unless the Naga's there to net him. Resolution was moving into position.
Even a BKB charge at this point is still pretty good, and that's down for a long time. I mean, first BKB usage, the cooldown is pretty significant as well. So you can even then think about putting some pressure on the base on top of that. But
LGD, they lost their trap in the Roshan pit. They also have no vision around the pit, so they move out with the gem as a squad. They want to reestablish map control here around the pit, and then they probably look to take Roshan. DC, while they're not that good at killing Roche, they are very good at fighting around the pit, as mentioned, so they may head that way. They also can reinforce it quickly with the double BOT.
Split push on top of it, too. If you're not, in your base, if you're looking for Roshan, you're losing damage of a Tier 3 tower, and you can see it already. 75% HP now, and maybe has to come here and clean up. He will be going for the Chrysalis at this point in time, but could be going for an MKB later as well. I mean, I thought he might be picking that up against the Radiance Burn, and maybe even a Butterfly picks up that Resolution at some point, but for now, it's just the Chrysalis and the Daedalus here for Templar Assassin.
Getting out farmed, though, in a game where he doesn't match up especially well. Lots of tools to prevent. Like with TA, generally your game plan is just assassinate one or two heroes during BKB and then try to snowball the fight, but DC has so many reset buttons. The net, they have the blink away on the Nyx, the Yules on the Kunkka to save himself, or catch the TA if she hasn't BKB'd. You can TP home as an ally, X them back into the fight. You have the Psalm to reset, the net to reset. They have like 20 reset buttons, it feels like. Not to mention, Weehaw's kit, once the BKB is down, can just ruin the TA, so it's just not really a TA game. TA wants to be killing, and since the early game, we saw the Ancients get cleared. They went for that first Roshan, but it's been very, very quiet and much to DC's liking.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, even with all of those disengages, like you said with Song, for example, it's so good against the Lifestealer as well, because his rage, maybe just Song or ensnare him. Obviously, the Song, you can force him down, and the rest of his team is asleep. But
all right, Mod. Finally, it's taken an hour and a day, but Chow80's got his BKB and
oh, he blinked out in time. Move makes it away. He still doesn't play Carapace. Aggressive race up. Great defensive disruption. Tornado, Ghost Ship, both missing. Move still in. Solo and Tail. He'll whiff, and he will end up falling despite all of those defensive abilities being used, and they're not done yet, LD.
They won Soxa. They maul the Shadow Demon. He completely airballed the stun. Could have had 2-3 heroes. I think he probably still dies, but maybe the team tries to take the fight. Still, that was the timing LGD was waiting for, and took a really long time to get BKB. But once Chow80 has it, he knows he always has a clean initiation. And with the Lifestealer Rage, you can't stop him even with Psalm. LGD do hit their mark, but don't transition this into a Roshan, because DC doing a good job at pushing out the side lanes. Weehaw's top. Naga Illusions were bottom. Not currently being microed, but in general, DC, even 2 down, they can still split push very effectively.
They're still hemmed in. DC are still in a fine position.
And LGD, they recognize they don't have good illusion counters, so you see the Maelstrom on Aggressive now. They're going to try to get what they can to deal with these, but just based on the matchup, it's going to be easy. Honestly, I'm feeling like MMY needs to come up really big this game. He had some big plays earlier. Hasn't seen an enemy hero to steal a spell for like 20 minutes.
Blink Dagger aggressively once this game, not that I can remember to my knowledge.
He just hasn't been seeing enemy heroes, because clearly the team's call has Chow80's been saying, we're waiting on my BKB, we're not fighting unless they try to take Roche or really force the issue. We are going to play the slow game. But as a result, hasn't had a chance, but There's good spells here to steal. Potentially the Sullen if Naga screws up. Disruption could be huge. Boat, we saw once stolen earlier, is a massive spell to grab. A lot of Invoker spells can be game-changing. The Nyx stun, stolen once earlier, is really big. But I feel like they need that X factor, and I'm not convinced any of the other LGD heroes can really bring it based on matchup.
Again, this is what the draft panel was talking about. They were saying in the late game, DC's looking very strong. They're going to choke out LGD, obviously. Of course, Soxa has the ability to disrupt the Naga Siren, so there's even more illusions across the map as well. And this is where DC is at their best. We've seen them in this position so often, especially in the NA scene where they thrive heavily.
God, they are really bad at taking Roche. Weeha's gonna arrive. He says, let me handle it, boys. Force Spirits come out.
Alacrity and Force Spirits, though, but really it's just the Alacrity because Force Spirits armor melting doesn't actually work on Roshan, so...
It's just so slow. And LGD, at the same time, while it might be slow, and they almost certainly know it's happening, there's no one on DC on the map. All the lanes are pushing Mott. Top lane's still pretty far in. Constantly Illusion scouting them out. Don't know if they have any smokes available right now.
Xiao's trying to get...
Sunstrike finds the Elder Titan!
Wow, that's incredible.
Well, Roshan secure now. Elder Titan. Well,
they can't contest penalty.
Yeah, he's the poorest hero on their team, so you might say, he's just a support, but that hero's aura is huge in team fights. Earth Splitter is very crucial. Yeah. So with one swipe of the sun, DC, they get it done. They'll take the Roche. Somewhere up above, I think Sunspan is also smiling.
They're the fans behind us right now. It's a very quiet game.
They're just completely bottled in. DC have played this really well through the mid game, and I wonder if LGD just sat back and waited too long. Like, sure, the BKB lasso is a very safe initiation, but they let Naga farm for 20 minutes. Naga has Octarine now. Mirror Image literally has 100% uptime. 30-second image duration, 30-second cooldown. There are always Naga illusions for Mirror Image. You also have the Shadow Demon disruption illusions, not to mention the Mansa style as well. It's very difficult to stop the split push, and they don't have great heroes to kill illusion.
LGD have never really been in that bad of a position. Like, they've been able to actually take fights. They do a ton of damage, it's just they can't really position themselves without losing some sort of damage on a building in their base at this point. They needed to keep those outer towers alive. And it's just, when they lost them, now it becomes incredibly difficult to deal with. You can see now, DC are starting to get a little more aggressive, bit by bit, pushing in. More illusions coming up the high ground. It's an assault after an assault, LG, and LGD have to maybe think about making an aggressive play here, as AB still does a ton of damage.
They're definitely employing the death by a million cut strat, and I say a million because these Naga illusions hit like kittens, but bit by bit they are burning the towers down, and you can see TA just doesn't deal well with Radiance Burn. Refraction is useless. Sunstrike comes out, he will tank it. Fresh Refraction, but this frees them up. They know he's got to go back to the well. They're going to poke at the tower some more while they send illusions on mid. They're also disabling Xiao's Blink Dagger with the Radiance Burn. DC looking to turn a check into a checkmate here. Have completely bottled LGD up. Almost makes you wonder if they saw something in that secret loss yesterday where, sure, LGD were ahead, but they really struggled to deal with illusion spam, with Shadow Demon spam late game, and finally, Xiao 8 has had enough, Mon. He just dives in deep behind them. He wants to get the hell out of this campaign.
He's going to find a BKB last to target. It'll be Misery disrupted up. They have the dog if they want to use it. Maybe coming in from the backside, still looking for more, but there's Demonic Purge. He has Pop his BKB, but look at the right click. It's so much, and Weehaw takes it down. He doesn't have buyback. And just like that, LGD have lost 2. They're about to lose 3. The Earth Splitter will do nothing to stop their defeat at this point.
There are no answers for this. They didn't even solve Mod. GG. DC. They turned inaction by LGD into death. They sat back, they waited, they never found openings. Great scouting by DC. Strategically, they had the answers here, and they look very happy walking off the stage. But you know who's even happier?
Mamamoo.
Mamamoo.
And the DC fans, of course, and they should be. That was a sound game. Obviously, it came through in the end. They were able to obviously just do what they do best, which